All right, welcome back this week for Flow for Life. What Flow for Life means is being yourself at all times and doing it for life. This week, I got Alicia Ellis and Phil Harden, one of the owners. Of course, Alicia, she's with LaRae, and Phil was with the West Up in Cleveland. And yo, both of them got some dope brands. I basically hit them up together and let them know what I was trying to do. And of course, they said, let's do it. We had to come up with a date. And basically, we wanted to collaborate on the project, you know what I'm saying? Far as putting our brands together and giving people information on it that might not know who we are, or they might not know Phil or Alicia on my platform, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to give them some light so that we can actually all just collaborate together. So really it's collaboration over competition, because yeah, we all in the same market. Yeah, it is a competition, but we can still collaborate to get our ideas across and our point across. So yeah, let's get started. Go ahead, Alicia, introduce yourself.
I love that. Collaboration over competition all day. So my name is Alicia LaRae Ellis. I am the creator and founder of Moss LaRae, a pure message for our generation. And I'm excited to connect here with Flow for Life and West Up. I'm ready to get this conversation going.
What's good, everybody? Tapping in, which is Phil here from West Up CLE. Just want to give a big shout out to Flow for Life and Master Ray for giving me this platform to be able to express some of the core values that I'm looking to bring with my brand in 2021. I'm looking forward to seeing what these two brands have to bring to the table as well. And I'm all about collaborating with these two to get our ideas out to a larger audience, and also in competition with trying to get us to be some of the three top brands here within the city of Cleveland, as well as across the United States. So definitely appreciate the opportunity, and looking forward to learning a lot along the way here today.
All right, so since we live now, I'm just gonna introduce myself. Name's Deontay Flowers. I'm an Army veteran from Cleveland, Ohio. Got the Flow for Life podcast, and I just started the Flow for Life merchandise, selling T-shirts and stuff like that. And I just really started getting into it about 2 months ago, actually selling the T-shirts. All I did was, well, we gonna get into that, but that's enough about me. I'm gonna keep it simple, but I'm gonna let Alicia go.
Awesome. Glad to be on here tonight live. My name is Alicia LaRae Ellis. Most of you know me with Moss LaRae and other entrepreneurial ventures that I've been putting together over the years. I'm super excited about this collaboration over competition talk with my good friends in high schools. And like, we don't get to connect all the time, but when we do, it's very intentional. So it's a pleasure, and I'm humbled to share the platform with y'all. So whoever's tuning in on the Moss LaRae page, make sure y'all go ahead and hit those likes, hit the follows, and let's keep this thing going.
What's good, everybody? This Phil here from West Up CLE. A lot of you may not know me from this platform necessarily because I don't touch Facebook too much, but in regard to what I'm looking to accomplish, my brand's called West Up. It stands for When Everyone Stands Together, Unlimited Power. That's truly what I'm trying to build this year in regard to my clothing brand. It could be anything, though. So if you're doing anything positive within the community, within our generation, with our culture, then I obviously want to be able to connect with you this year, because obviously that's what I'm looking to do is build on things that I'm not necessarily strong on that you may be, and we can kind of meet halfway. So that's what this competition, collaboration over competition means to me, is how can we collaborate to be in competition with other major brands, so that we can make a bigger difference for our brand and for our communities as well. So definitely appreciate the platform that you guys are providing with this here, from Moss LaRae to, Flow for Life. Definitely appreciate the opportunity here tonight.
Yeah, definitely, man. When I was sitting back and I was thinking, I'm like, man, Phil got the West Up, Alicia got the Mas LeRae. How can we come together without competing? You know what I'm saying? So I thought about it. I'm like, well, let's do something over the Zoom app, and let's do a podcast basically breaking down our brands for people that might not know. And the whole time it's just like, I love what they doing. I support what they doing. Me, I'm not really in the lane of competing with them, but I know it's a competition at the same time. But let me give them their flowers while they're alive and while I'm alive, because they started something a lot of people scared to take the risk and do. You know what I'm saying? And by them sharing their stories of how the brand started, it might help influence and change somebody live out there that we can say that's scared to do something, and we can just give our story or whatever and tell y'all how easy it was for us to get started, because mine was pretty simple. But I'm gonna let Alicia go ahead now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with Mas LeRae, it was just it's been heavy on my heart. I can't even lie, for years, to create a platform where I can just be my true authentic self, be able to create, talk about topics that I know is sometimes can be controversial in the sense of eyes of others, but for us in the communities that we come from, these are conversations we need to have. And we need to control the narrative. We're all doing positive work in our communities, in our city. And I don't feel like there's a platform created by us, for us, that's highlighting and showcasing the work that we're doing. And so really that's the meaning behind Mas LaRae, and why I wanted to really kick it off is for an outlet for me to be creative as well, because I do a lot of different business ventures and I'm involved in a lot of different things from a professional standpoint. But I didn't even have a space for me on a consistent basis to come and just shine light on myself, but also the other creators that I'm connected with. So starting up Mas LaRae has been something that I've had on the back burner for a few years now. And I was just waiting for like the name, the images, and everything just to kind of come together. And when I finished up my MBA, I was like, all right, well, my capacity for some things have decreased, and I'm ready to kind of put the boots on it and walk it out. And that's kind of where, how I got here. And it's been, about a year already in the sense of the platform, it forming and it taking off. So I'm super excited to continue to see where it goes.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you basically just gave us everything, it represents in your vision, when it comes to your brand. But I'm gonna let Phil take it next. What does West Up represent?
So West Up to me represents something more than just a clothing brand. It represents a way of life. You hear that quite a bit with other clothing companies, but in regard to the way that I kind of carry myself, I base my brand off of the acronym: when everyone stacks together, unlimited power. So I just wanted to give somebody an example. So my father is 72 years old, and it's kind of a perfect transition into this podcast and this opportunity you guys are providing for us today. So my father once told me, if you ever went to a grocery store and you went down the bread aisle, how many just wheat brands are there alone? If you go down the grocery store and you see just the wheat brands by themselves, but me, Flow for Life, and Mas LaRae are all doing the same thing, but there's been bread companies that's been around since longer than me and you have been living, and they're all making the same living, or even a better one due to their name. So obviously competition is going to come about, but there's also ways that everybody can eat at the same time. And that's one reason why I started the clothing brand. Not necessarily just because I wanted to start it through clothing, but I wanted to make this a platform so people who don't have the platform to explain themselves have the ability to kind of come to someone and say, hey, Phil, this is the idea I have. I just don't know how to connect the dots. Clothing is the first way that I'm going to connect with individuals. It's kind of the first jab that I'm throwing if you're a boxer. But in regard to what West Up's going to be 5 to 10 years from now, I kind of want to be on the same platform as a Rockefeller or a Sean John or a bad boy, not necessarily in the music space, but as far as just respect as a brand and what we stand for. Some of the core values that we base my brand off of is money, loyalty, and love. Money, because those are things that can bring happiness in life, as well as the thing that can make a difference in someone's life as far as how they carry themselves. Loyalty is something that you can build through relationships and through communication. Throughout the years of you speaking with somebody who has general ideas that are similar to yours. And then love comes off of that loyalty, obviously. So over time, when someone's loyal to you, you gain admiration towards them, and you find things that you feel you guys find a common ground of, and that's where you kind of build relationships to make hundred thousands or millions of dollars. So the start of West Up was really just an acronym, and it's built into something more. Last year was about branding, and this year we're about expanding. So I'm trying to make something really shake this year in regard to the fashion aspect of things.
I love that. Branding to expanding. That is tough. I like that. I
Absolutely.
really do. And I don't even see it's like, I know we're using the word competition, but in the sense of the difference in what we bring, the uniqueness that we all have is so different. Like I don't really see competition, to be
Right.
completely honest. I know we all kind of are doing the apparel piece and the clothing, but you know how many shirts one person owns? I mean, I own probably over 100 t-shirts just
Yeah.
alone. So I don't even see it to be that. I think the core of it is really creating this type of platform, like with Flow for Life it is doing, in a sense of also creating a platform from a media standpoint of giving folks the opportunity to share. So this is really dope.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
if there's anybody in the audience, I just want to say this. I'm gonna kind of tap in and say this periodically. If there's anybody in the audience, this is one of the main reasons why I wanted to tap in with these two individuals, because there's people that I don't know that you know, or some things that I may know that you may not know, or something that you may know that I don't know. So I'm all about just trying to learn and build. So if there's anybody who wants to connect, whether you're a photographer, videographer, you do graphic design, if you're in any type of art space, you can follow West Up CLE on Instagram, and we can kind of connect from there for sure. I'm not one of those people that's going to ignore anything or ignore anybody's talent or anybody's art. We all got different ways of expressing ourselves, and I want to be able to give you that platform. So if there's any way of us being able to collaborate this year with art, that's what I'm all for. So again, West Up CLE on Instagram, if you guys would like to tap in, let's definitely collaborate in regard to being creative this year for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And just to give my piece with Flow for Life, Flowers my last name. So the first four initials FLO and W. And the for life was more so to go off my podcast. You know what I'm saying? I've been going by Flow for Life for a while, you know what I'm saying? Especially since I've been in the army, but I just tied it all the way in. But it's kind of crazy because I never thought about dropping any shirts or throwing a logo on there. It just was a part of like my process. And it was like, why not do it? You already got a logo. So I took that logo and threw it on the t-shirts. But it just represents a lot more than just me. I'm thinking about legacy. I'm thinking about what can I pass to people? What do I want to be remembered as, and how can I impact the community? So really the Flow for Life is just being bigger than myself, but leaving legacy. So that's what it represents for me.
Respect.
Now,
Oh, yep. And I'm loving the logo too. That's fire.
yeah, appreciate it.
On that
And
hot pink too.
hey, low key, it's red. I think it's my camera or
Oh, it's
whatever.
your light. I saw a hot pink one though, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I do got some pink, man. I got all colors, man. Like I can get every color, and I ain't
Right.
even. I'm gonna get my secret later of what I do because it's pretty simple. You know what I'm saying? I don't do nothing too hard, but
Who got the sauce? He has the formula. He keeping it.
yeah, I
Absolutely.
got my formula, and I can't wait to hear y'all's because I'm pretty sure that y'all might have something that can possibly work for me. You know what I'm saying? Because Phil been in it longer than both of us. You know what I'm saying? So Phil probably gonna drop something that we both be like, you know what? I'm gonna use that
Jewel.
strategy, and I'm not trying
Right.
to take from Phil, but at the
No.
same time, he educating me, and it's somebody on this live that's watching it that's waiting to start something. They just don't know how. So from all three of us being on here, we all giving our, experiences and stuff like that when it comes to clothing lines and branding. And they could just take all our information and they might outdo us. Who knows? But we
Yeah,
still impact
it's somebody
somebody.
that's gonna watch this video that's better than me, man. I don't have all the answers. I'm not Joe Freshgoods. I'm not Virgil. I'm not hopping over to Paris to go find the flyest silks to be able to throw on these hoodies, man. Like I'm just all about the grind. That's one thing that you're gonna get from West Up. Whenever you see it, you just gonna know that Phil, somebody who's gonna grind for everything that he gets. He's somebody that stands for integrity, which is something that I base my life off, not just my brand. So I'm just trying to just build, man. I'm all about building. I'm trying to grind for what I want out of life, and it's something more than a 9 to 5. And that's what West Up's going to be able to provide for years to come for individuals who want to kind of join the team.
Yeah, definitely. Alicia, you can go ahead with the next thing, talking about how does your brand affect the community?
For sure. So for me, specifically with Mas LaRae, like the apparel piece is really like third string. It's something I don't even really spend a much time on. Like kind of what you had said, Swoop, in the sense of like you had the logo, you threw it on a couple shirts. Now it's kind of picking up momentum, but um, my focus is really creating a platform to share and connect and inspire, and to be able to sell some merch here and there is cool, but it's not even something I really press hard, because I'm really focused on building the platform with Mas LaRae, in the sense of creating it for other people to come on and share their story, share how they've been inspired, and be able to share my own personal stories and my own testimony on how I've kind of got to this point in my life where I feel free in a sense. I feel like I found my purpose and I know who I am. And it's been a journey to get here. And part of that is how I open up within the Mas LaRae platform to just share share those experiences and be vulnerable with others, because I think a lot of times we get to a point where we don't even talk about how we got there anymore. And I think how you get there is one of the most inspirational parts of the journey, because that shows how relatable you are, that shows what you're built of, and it shows that connectivity that you can have with other people. So in a sense of community, if you know me, you follow any of my work, I'm engraved in community. Most of the, like 90% of the work that I do is some type of community engagement, some type of community involvement, just based upon my professional work that I do. And so I bring LaRae with me when I go. And I'm always looking to connect with community leaders, community entrepreneurs throughout the city of Cleveland. But, I've obviously have opened up the platform worldwide, just to connect with other like-minded people. So in a sense of what LaRae does with the community, not so much for the community, I'm more with the community in the sense of building wealth, building transparency, building conversation, and how can we collectively change the narrative and take ownership of our own narrative and create the platform for all of us to share the work that we're doing and grow the impact. So that's how I'm involved. And then LaRae obviously is connected with me. So I bring it wherever I go and see how I can connect the platform with other creators and like-minded folks.
Before you go, Phil, I just wanted to say something like, yo, Alicia, everything that you just said, yo, that's powerful. That's what people need. Hey, 10 years from now, somebody gonna remember this conversation, and they gonna remember the LaRae. They gonna remember your brand and what it represent, because you probably impacted their life. You don't know that you're gonna impact somebody, but you gonna know 10 years down the line, like, yo, remember when such and such, I remember you, Phil, and Deontay was on this live, or, they'll know from your past life and stuff like that, like where you going now, in a direction, so yeah, I just wanted to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a firm believer, like in the sign behind me. I saw this sign, look, I'm a shopper at TJ Maxx. I die hard for TJ Maxx, and this be the change. That's what I live by. I feel like, a lot of us come from neighborhoods that we really didn't have role models. We had a lot of people tell us to do something that they never did, but we never actually saw the example in front of us. And so for me, it was very important for me to be that change that I wanted to see in my community and what I wanted to see throughout the city of Cleveland and beyond. Because ultimately, to lead by example, you have to be the example. And that's something I don't think we really saw growing up. And now we have the opportunity to exhibit that, wherever we go. I know Phil wanted to jump in on something.
Oh, it's always fine. I'm sitting back. I'm trying to take notes and learn from y'all, man. Because I'm not, like I said in the beginning, I don't really know everything, but
None of us do, man.
I'm not really involved in the community right now. I'm not gonna fake the funk about it, because that's one thing that I want you to get from me and my brand is that I'm authentic from the jump. I'm gonna be thorough, regardless of what it is. I'm not gonna fake the funk, because that's been done with us our entire lives, right? So when we were in school, we were taught certain things because they wanted us to know certain things, or when we saw somebody out in our neighborhood or in our community that we looked up to that may not have been doing the right thing at that time. They didn't inspire us to do anything but that same exact thing, right? So how can we change the narrative? That's one hashtag that you see on every single one of my posts since 2018 when I established the brand, just change the narrative. The reason why I say that is because the narrative is always the same. He's either going to sell drugs, or he's going to go to school and then he's going to come back and get this 9-to-5 job, or whatever the case may be. But I want people to be able to look outside of that box, look outside of that window. All of us are not LeBron James. All of us are not, God gifted with these abilities or talents to be able to go to the next level after high school or whatever level of athleticism that you're in. So I want to change the narrative in my neighborhood, in my community. So that's step one is being able to change the narrative is something that I'm trying to put my first foot forward in doing this year, is showing them an example if there's there's other ways to be able to become successful. Other than being the neighborhood dope boy, or other than being, this lawyer or this doctor. You can be creative in your own right and make a great living. And that's something that I'm trying to show as an example of, not necessarily showing my bankroll or, flashing money all the time, because we all see that, right? That's in our mainstream media. But can we actually buy a home? Can we purchase a vehicle? Can we do something for our family that they've never been able to accomplish? Travel, things like that. So I'm trying to show an example and lead by example. Same thing that, Alicia was saying, is lead by example, but I'm not really trying to talk about it. I want to show it periodically throughout this year, some things that I accomplished, making small goals to try to make a big difference in my life, and also trying to be a great father figure to my 2-year-old here at home. So trying to lead him to
Real good, Phil. And I believe that you living like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I never see you, hey, unless it's about your brand and family, I never see you post nothing else. Like if it's something negative, I never see Phil name on it. I never see Alicia name on it. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of funny though. One of these young bulls back in my neighborhood, one of my homeboys or whatever, but he younger than me. So he told me, you know, I was speaking to him about credit and stuff like that for a whole hour. I'm talking about I never even had dude number. He called me out of nowhere and he was asking about credit and we was really chopping it up. And he was like, bruh, you know how many people out here, even from the Rock, that's where I'm from. He said, you know how many people out here don't even know who you are? But it's crazy because you got people that's out here that's doing good things, but we not glorified for some reason. Trying to become successful, trying to do right, you know, try to live this righteous life. It's not glorified. Like in the hood, for some reason, they want to keep you down for some reason.
It's
But
because
it's
of the it's because of the narrative that was provided to us our whole lives, right? So
Yeah.
your whole life, you're told to go this specific straight route. Either you're gonna go to college or you're gonna get this job. And I feel like us changing the narrative, such as yourself doing a podcast, such as LaRae, being involved in the community without having to have somebody holding your hand. How can I make a difference myself without talking about it, but actually taking actions towards things I'm looking to accomplish? So I completely understand where you're coming from in regard to people saying they don't know you from a neighborhood or they don't remember your face. It's a totally different generation. These 10 years after high school went by real quick. So people may not remember this face because you were in the Army defending people on an everyday basis, or Alicia was in school getting an MBA, or I was in, you know what I mean, doing whatever the case may have been. But it's all about just trying to change this narrative. And it's something that's going to be very powerful for our community and our generation, and those that are coming, you know, after us, to be able to understand that there's something more than the narrative that gets pushed inside of our educational system here in the city of Cleveland.
Yeah, definitely. As far as Flow for Life, like representing the community and stuff that we do, like for me, I always get guests on my podcast that I know that got a story to tell. You know what I'm saying? But it's not more so a negative story. It's like overcoming adversity, talking about your life experiences. And for me, that's enough representing Flow for Life because that's trying to help inspire and change somebody's life. You know what I'm saying? For the better. So they can turn around and take some of the stuff that they learned on Flow for Life podcast and they teach somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So really, it's reaching the youth and people younger than us. You know what I'm saying? We can still inspire people older than us. But, you know, sometimes, you know, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we want to represent the community. You know what I'm saying? That's why when people wear the Flow for Life shirts, they feel like that. Ooh, that's hard, Phil. I like that. But yeah, people feel like they're a part of the Flow for Life community when they listen to the podcast, when they wear the brand, because they know what we represent. And I say we because it's not just me. It's everybody, especially Alicia. She been on the Flow for Life. We got a podcast called Planting Seeds, and I still hold that podcast to my heart. Like when I listen to that, I think about all the seeds that I'm planting. You know what I'm saying? And somebody listening to this, hey, this planting a seed in their head. You know what I'm saying? You got
Right.
3 different people on here and nobody competing, but we all trying to motivate and inspire each other. You know what I'm saying? So we can all become better people in our brands. We want our brands to grow through time. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be a walk in the park. It's going to take time, but when it take off, it's going to take off. You know what I'm saying? But it's not all about us. You know what I'm saying? I hope somebody start a brand today. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to support them. So it's bigger than just Flow for Life, West Up, or LaRae. It's a community thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it requires everybody to be involved if we want change, you know what I'm saying? But I just had to give my spiel.
No, I love that. And I also just dropped both Flow for Life and West Up links on the live on LaRae live here. So whoever's watching this now and whoever's gonna watch the replay of the live, make sure y'all tune in and stay connected and making sure that you guys go like the pages, check out the merch that's out there, but also check out the platform, the meaning behind it, because it's not just buying another hat, buying another t-shirt. It's understanding the intentional message behind what we're wearing and behind what we're representing, because sometimes, you never know really what you're buying when you go to the store and what the message is behind some of the clothing. And a lot of this stuff is tied to subliminal messaging. And with, West Up and Flow for Life, within this platform right now, collaboration over competition, you're really hearing the intention behind the brand. And that's essential, especially when you put something on your body and you're going to go out in public and rep it. In my opinion, it's important. So make sure y'all hit those links in the comment box as well. I just wanted to throw that in there.
Absolutely. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, so Alicia or Phil, one of y'all can lead it far as how did y'all brand start? Y'all can take off with it.
So my brand started from just an idea, just being confident in my ability to be able to say that I can build something that's bigger than me. I just wanted to get outside of the realm or outside of my comfort zone. I threw parties for 6 years. I threw parties at the University of Toledo, brought Tyga, Wiz Khalifa, several different people that might tap in on this Facebook may be able to bring up some experiences that they had. Travis Porter, brought those individuals out, learned business, took my losses. And then I came back as an adult. When I came back to Cleveland, I really didn't want to work the 9-to-5 lifestyle, which I still do. But that's because of the intention that I have as a man to be able to provide for my family. But in regard to my company, it started from an idea, just saying I wanted to do something bigger than me. And now it's starting to snowball into something bigger than I could ever believe. So I really appreciate any type of support you've ever given me. Likes, comments, retweets, actually purchasing something. It all goes a long way in trying to build something bigger than myself. So that's where it all kind of started from, was just the idea to say that I can do something bigger than me without somebody holding my hand along the way.
For sure. I'll jump in here, man. That's super inspirational. And I know I'm gonna grab my stuff that I bought from both of y'all just to make sure that people know. I also rep it too, because I think it's important in the sense of supporting each other, not just saying it, but also, that financial investment is essential as we move forward. But in the sense of LaRae, how I got started was, a lot of my experience, trying to get my other businesses promoted and out there and doing the marketing thing. And it's hard, man. It's hard to grow a brand. And I've worked, as a consultant to help small businesses grow. I've worked with organizations to help them grow. And it is hard. It's hard to get publicity. It's hard to get the news involved. It's hard to get people to understand the work that you're doing on a consistent basis, because right now social media is so saturated and it's flooding everything. And now with the algorithms, if you're not paying for ads, your stuff is not even getting seen by the people who subscribe to you or follow you. So for me, it was just like, man, I know so many people doing amazing work on a day-to-day basis, and I don't feel like they get enough shine. I don't feel like they get enough representation. I don't feel like they get the spotlight. And I wanted to create a space that did that. And it's not even so much about me at all. It's more about the people who I'm connected with and really wanting to, open up my network, my platform, my Rolodex, quote unquote, to other people I know, and then I can vouch for to say, hey, I know their work is excellent. I know about them. I know where they come from, and I want to connect with them, not just on a work level, but also, connecting our brands. And really that's what led me to create LaRae, was wanting to have a platform where we can do that on a consistent basis from a multimedia space, including the blogs, the interviews, the testimonials, the podcasts, all those different outlets, putting that all on one platform where people can really come and share and really get the recognition that they need. And then for me to do my part in it is putting it up on our website, connecting with people I know in the news industry, and being like, I've done so many referrals with people I've had on LaRae and people I'm connected with locally to be like, hey, you guys want to cover a news story? Like, and I'll call so-and-so to be like, they're doing the work down the street, and giving them an address, and people are popping up, with the news camera. It's like those type of intentional connections that I believe I have a part of responsibility to do, because no one did it for me. And the people who did do it for me, they championed the work that I was doing at the time. So that's pretty much kind of my point in getting into Mas LaRae and creating it, was like not seeing anything out there for us that looked like us. For me, being a woman, a Hispanic woman, and not having anything like that locally in the city of Cleveland. And then when you talk about local to national to worldwide, um, now with the access of social media, anything can go quick to viral. And so for me, it's just really creating that platform and then scaling it, and bringing other creators like the both of y'all on and seeing like, all right, what's next, what can we do next? And I love this collaboration over competition, because I feel like we can go a lot of different places with this. So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. I don't want to stop this, man. Like, I'm not necessarily saying we got to do this on a weekly basis, but I feel like we're just like-minded individuals with three different types of platforms and three different audiences, to where if we continue to do this on a consistent basis, if we do collaboration over competition, episode 5, we might have over 5 million people viewing in because they don't want to compete anymore. They want to collaborate, and we're trying to build something more. So I'm all for continuing this same platform, and trying to see where we can try to build it up too.
What's up with you, Flow for Life? How'd that get started?
Man, look, I was doing the podcast, right? And then in my head, the biggest thing I feel like I was missing a little bit was support from the people, you know what I'm saying? Because I think it's because the way that I was doing it, right? I was only doing an audio file on the Anchor app. But then I start talking to Alicia a little bit. Then I thought about it. I see how Alicia was doing the Mas LaRae. So I kind of was like, you know what? Why don't I just do the Zoom app so I can have the video and I get the audio file? So I started thinking about that. So that's something with the podcast. But when it comes to the actual t-shirt brand, I just was like, how can I make it more attractable to the people? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, let me go get a logo. If I go get a logo, that's representing the brand. So I took that logo and started putting on t-shirts. And hold on, let me flip the camera down. But yeah, it says Flow for Life, and it's got a city background, because most of us from the inner city, and got a microphone to represent the podcast. So this logo, every shirt I put in, like it'll take the color of whatever shirt. So if this was on a yellow shirt, it's gonna be yellow right here and yellow right here. But really, I just started by an idea, like Phil said. It just was an idea and a vision. And I started watching videos, because I do that a lot. I be like studying different people that's successful in different industries and stuff like that. And that's what I started thinking. I'm like, let me just order a logo. So I hit up this dude, and he was able to do a logo, and he had it done within like a week. So I took that logo and I went to this store, and really they was basically making money off me or whatever, because I could have been doing it myself. But I went to the store and had them put the logo on the t-shirt. But my mistake was I could have did it myself. So that's when I ordered the heat press. So I started buying shirts from Michael's, right? And then once I started doing that, I can get a lot of different colors, because Michael's, they got rewards programs and stuff like that too. So you could walk out at Michael's with a 3 for 10 on shirts. You know what I'm saying? So I started doing that, and I started pressing it myself. And then I hop on the social media community. I like to call it a community because a lot of my family and friends is on like Facebook and IG. You know what I'm saying? So I started really posting, hey, who wants to buy a t-shirt, stuff like that. And then taking pictures in shirts, and people start buying it, So that's how I really started getting into it. And then like once that started going, my brain started going, and I started thinking, what else can I put my logo on? So then I started thinking like, hey, I could put my logo on a short sleeve shirt. I could do a long sleeve. I can do a hoodie, all off of one logo. You know what I'm saying? So really the sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I can do whatever I want to do with this logo. You know what I'm saying? So that's really how it started, just an idea. And I know that I could do it. It's people out here that started, successful businesses with nothing. So why can't I do it? You know what I'm saying? What's stopping me from reaching these goals and accomplishing some of my dreams? You know what I'm saying? I never thought that Flow for Life podcast would lead to me selling t-shirts and stuff like that. But I can tell you that I started really betting on myself and realizing that I got a lot of value to give to this world, instead of me doubting myself, like people not going to support me. That's the biggest thing. Well, people don't support the podcast like that just yet, but I was thinking that same mindset when it came to the shirts. But before I know it, one shirt a day, two shirts a day, and then start picking up like that. You know what I'm saying? So really sometimes it's gonna be a slow process, but if you stay consistent and you stay willing to keep putting in the work, even though it's not working how you want it to, then you're gonna get your results. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta stay active, stay motivated, keep posting. Yo, I don't know if y'all watch my stories on IG. I always post my brand. I post other people's stuff, but I post mine, the most, because I want people to know who I am. What's the point of having this logo if people don't know who Flow for Life is? You know what I'm saying? But by me having the video, they can see my face too. So they know the voice, they know the face, and they know the logo. So yeah, that's me. I like to talk a lot, but
Yeah, that marketing piece though is key, and I feel like it's easy to get discouraged, especially being in a global pandemic, the social justice that's been happening and got livid in 2020, but we know it's been happening every day, way before we were even been here. Like, it's all these paradigms that have been shifting, that contribute. Is not just if someone don't buy my shirt today or someone don't like my post, but in the sense of being a creator, sometimes we're very sensitive people, and if we don't get the support we need, because we put so much energy into the brand and into the stuff that we do, if we're not getting the support we need to take it to the next level and to expand, then we get discouraged. And I think, like, this is why these type of conversations are so inspirational, is because you don't know how much I need to have this type of conversation with other creators, and you don't know even who's listening, who might have shut down their business last month because they weren't getting the support that they need, but they needed this type of message to really encourage themselves to keep it going. And I think the most powerful part about it is, like, and this is what me and you talk about all the time, Deontay, like, just because it's just you right now, we really need to intentionally think about how we talk about collaboration, and how are we being intentional with collaboration, because how, Diddy got to where he's at and how Rock Nation got to where Rock Nation's at is because they worked with people and they network and they built teams. And it wasn't just about one person or one face being in front of the brand. It was by creating a culture where we all eat, we all win. And being from Cleveland, or coming from Cleveland, being raised in Cleveland, it's like, it's such a nitty gritty city, and it's like, it's get it by any means necessary, and the hustle of it, it's like you're climbing the ladder and you're kicking everyone off underneath you so you can get there first, when we need to really intentionally create and build collective power and collective wealth, so that we all can really have that legacy. I believe you're talking about, Deontay, as longevity and consistency beyond when we're here.
Absolutely. And that's the whole reason, the whole meaning kind of behind the brand, when everyone stacks together unlimited power. Can you just imagine, man, if Diddy and Hov worked together the whole time and never worried about a dollar bill, or if the biggest drug dealer you ever met, or the biggest lawyer, or the biggest anything that you've ever met in your life, the most powerful person that you know, right? And the second most powerful person you ever knew, and they worked together for one time, how much money would be made? How much influence would be made? How many lives would be changed?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's not about preaching to the choir. We've all been preached to our entire lives. Yep. You know what I mean? I'm 30 now. I turned 30 in December. So I've kind of got over that first hurdle, I guess you could say, as a black man. 25 is really the first, 18 is really the first black hurdle, right? 25 is the second black hurdle. 30 is a huge milestone, right? But what can I do in this next 10 years that's going to make it crazy for my family for the next 50 years, right? So building generational wealth, it might start from a t-shirt or a hoodie or a podcast, but it's all about what's going to be that first leap. You know what I mean? People say, when I was young, from the neighborhood I'm from, I was raised on 130. If they said you got to jump off the porch at some point, right? Mm-hmm. But when I'm in my 30s, I'm not jumping off the porch no more. You know, I'm not trying to look behind my shoulder no more in that rear view mirror when I'm driving down 130th anymore. I'm trying to build something bigger than me. So collaboration over competition is a phrase, but it's truly something that people can really take to heart and understand that, you know, we can build something bigger as a people. You know what I mean? We segregated ourselves. because of our government at one point in time, because of our color of our skin at one point in time, or because of the way that we wanted to carry ourselves through religion, or the way that we, live every day to try to raise our families. But these type of conversations are really important because some people truly don't know what it means to collaborate, because all they've ever been taught was to go against one another, right? So understand that there's something that's bigger that can be built, that's bigger, as long as everybody's kind of on the same accord all the way across the board. When everyone stacks together, unlimited power.
Yeah. Hey, Phil, that even go with planting seeds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You plant those seeds, they might not grow in a couple days, they might not grow in a month, but if we all was to come together and do something big, imagine how big that tree can grow. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say one last thing because I feel like I've been talking a lot.
No, go
So
ahead.
I was on another podcast the other day. Shout out to Cultural Bliss Podcast, a couple gentlemen that's from the West Side. But I was out in Euclid with them, right? And they was like, man, Phil, like it's so many different brands that's doing these things. I was like, man, if we as a culture, right? So regardless of your skin color, if us as a culture, right? So anybody who's a part of that culture, we can be more contagious than the coronavirus if we really took it seriously and said, I don't want to buy from this company anymore. We could really take over the world, but there's so many people that are kind of like on either this side of the fence or this side of the fence, and they don't know if they really want to take that leap. You can know that West Up, LaRae, Flow for Life, and everybody who's around me is going to take that leap every time around, because we're trying to build something bigger than these 9-to-5s, or bigger than these, do something bigger with our lives than what they expect us to do, I guess you could say, is the best way I could put it out there for y'all.
No, that is so true. It's so true. And it's like now, and that like that purchasing power is real. Like when all of the social stuff hit this summer and people were boycotting certain brands or whatever, if it's not trending, then we stop it. Because that's part of the culture, right? It's just like we do what we see other celebrities or influencers do, but our dollar, you start to see the brand shift because of the purchasing power. You started seeing statements like Black Lives Matter on every website. You go to Nike, Black Lives Matter. You go to NBA.com, Black Lives Matter, and you started to see the power of the purchase, the power of the dollar. And I'm like, wow, imagine if we would have spent time strategically planning and strategically coming together. Okay, now where are we going to invest the dollar in our communities if we're not investing it in these other so-called brands? We didn't. We stopped to an extent of the conversation because the trend fell off. It was something else that new happened that week, or whatchamacallit, who was it, Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion, like that whole thing happened, and then things started falling off. Like that's part of the culture, because like it was no longer the sexy thing to talk about. It was no longer what was attractive, and then we stop until something else hits the news, and it's another murder or another corruption scandal or something, and then we pick back up instead of us really developing the plan and leading that type of work, because it takes work. Like we just honor Martin Luther King Jr., right? The amount of work that man did every day, he sacrificed his whole life, his family, his whole legacy, the amount of work that goes into, to me, that's more revolutionary than a trend. And that's part of the culture. Everyone wants to be a part of that, wants to be a trendsetter. I think it was Jay-Z said that quote, everyone wants to be a trendsetter, but essentially we're building, the longevity of legacy.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. But moving forward, so what does it take for a person that don't know anything about being an entrepreneur? Like, what does it take for them to start selling merchandise? Like, what would y'all tell them?
It's not free, so I'm gonna say that. So let's not beat around the bush, baby. So you can't make dreams happen off of your thoughts. You know what I mean? So we do have to have somebody backing you, whether you're a young individual still in school. Let's talk to your parents. Let's talk to big homie. Let's talk to big bro and say, hey, can you hand me 100? I'm gonna go try to start something bigger than me. You know what I mean? So you don't want to say it that way, because he's just gonna say you just found that off of Facebook somewhere and take it and run with it. But it just takes confidence, number one. It takes capital, number two. And it takes commitment. So the 3 C's is something that you always got to remember. And that's something that a mentor of mine kind of brought up to me, Dre Russell. I'm appreciative for him and all the gems that he ever provides to me. So capital, having the money to be able to do it, confidence, having the ability to say, I can do this without somebody else needing to be holding my hand, and having the collective agreement to say that I'm really going to do this today. I'm not going to wait for anybody else to try to give me my dream. I'm going to go after it and try to chase after it. So I'm sorry to keep hopping in, but I'm really passionate about these things because I know that I was the guy that thought that I was going to be an NBA ball player. I swear to, I thought I was going to be an NBA ball player. I got to Marshall. I thought I was going to be a football player because I fell in love with the game. And then I thought that I was going to be a baseball player too, because I felt like we was the greatest team ever assembled. Right. So, but then once life hits you, right. So once after you walk across that stage and you know what I mean, it's not fun and games anymore. You can't worry about, what I'm going to do on lunch break. Now it's about what am I going to do? Am I going to college? Am I going to, still live at mom's house? Am I going to community college just to try to get my feet wet? Like, what do I truly want to do in life? But if school's not for you, right? So don't just say, because I've been told my whole life, I told my grandmother passed away. I told her I'm going to go to school, right? But if you truly don't feel like school's for you, then there's no need for you to do it. That's just going to waste and put yourself in debt. Try to find another trade or try to find something that you feel confident in doing. And that's where it's going to be is the first step is committing to it and be confident in it. And then also having the capital to back up what you're trying to do. So the 3 C's. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I would just definitely agree with that. I'll throw in the big V, which I call is vision. You have to have a vision that includes a plan. If you just want to print off some t-shirts, that's cool. Um, in the sense of having a plan and what you want to see happen, what your plan wants to be in 5 years, 10 years, some people started selling apparel because they want to make some money, some quick money, and that's cool. But then what are you going to do with that money? So maybe you're just going to sell t-shirts for, 2-3 years. That's cool to get you to a financial situation so you can buy a house, or you can buy some real estate property so you can make, you can double your money. So really having that vision of a plan of, why do I want someone to buy my shirt? Because essentially, if I'm buying a t-shirt, and I know when I bought and I linked up with Phil a couple years ago and copped those hats, I wanted to know what the vision was. Like, what does West stand for? What are you doing with it? And I asked Deontay the same things. What's the meaning behind Flow for Life? To me, it's not just buying a t-shirt anymore. It's what are you representing? And that's all about your sales pitch. You become a salesperson once you start to try to sell stuff and you start to have a website or whatever. You become your own brand ambassador. So you want, when you go into a store, if it stinks in that store, you're not buying anything from that store. I'm sorry, I'm not buying anything from that store. And so it's all about how you present your brand and how you want to create your brand and what it represents. So that vision, that having that vision and that plan is essential to convincing someone to get you the capital, right? Convincing folks to be committed to your brand and to patronize and to help promote and do all these things. If I don't see that in you, in the sense of how you represent yourself and your vision and your plan, then it's hard to convince people out here, especially when you're selling shirts for $30. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about a $5 shirt. We're talking about $20, $25, $30. Some shirts I've even seen $50, $60 for local businesses. So it's not cheap, and we have to cancel that whole mindset of let me get that discount, let me get something for free, because it's ridiculous at this point. And I'm tired even being the audacity to even ask me at this point if you can get a hat for free. I'm just like, you going to Gucci asking them for a free belt? No, you swipe that card or you pull out your wallet and you drop the cash. And we need to pay creators. We need to pay entrepreneurs for what we're doing, and we need to be valued for that. So it takes a lot to build that brand, and that takes time to put your vision on paper and get it out your head. That's my advice. Get that plan, get that vision out of your head and on some paper so that you can capitalize on these 3 C's that Phil just threw out.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And like the biggest thing for me is like, study different entrepreneurs. Like if you want to hop in the t-shirt industry, study what Phil do. You know what I'm saying? Study his process, study Alicia process, learn what I do. You know what I'm saying? Study before you just hop in. But if you do hop in without studying, just know it's going to be trial and error, just like we all learned. You know what I'm saying? I done made mistakes and stuff like that. And the biggest thing for me is not paying somebody to do something that I can do myself. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of my mistakes. You know what I'm saying? So why pay somebody to order a bulk of my logos when I can go directly to the source? You know what I'm saying? So really, it's like you gotta test the waters. You gotta see what works, what don't work. You're not gonna figure it all out overnight. You know what I'm saying? But the best thing to do is just get started. And once you get started, it doesn't mean like go and buy all this merch and try to throw some logos. Like, no, sit down and plan it out and see what your goals is. And even if you got to do quarterly goals, just do that. Don't try to do goals every day and stuff like that, or do everything all at once and you overwhelmed and it seemed like you didn't get nothing done. You got to really map it out. You know what I'm saying? And really just know that it might not work how you thought it would, but it's always a solution to your problem. You know what I'm saying? So don't, oh, it's not working right now, I'm just going to give up. Okay, so if it don't work, what's plan B? If that don't work, what's plan C? So you got to kind of look at it like, you know, what are my options? And then another thing, you know, a lot of people really don't think about is what's my value? How much am I worth? You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go selling t-shirts for $5. No, I feel like I'm worth more than $5. Yeah, I am a new brand, but at the same time, people would go spend with Polo, Gucci, designer, and all this stuff. But in my head, you know, what are they doing for the community besides taking your money? You know what I'm saying? So you got people that's actually, Phil said he's not really in the community like that, but he is on social media, so he's a part of a different community. You know what I'm saying? But we see what West Up represent. You know what I'm saying? So really, you got to know your market. You got to study. It's all a process. You're not gonna get it overnight, but stay consistent and be willing to do the work. Because if you're willing to do the work, you're gonna get your results.
Yep, and be willing to collaborate and network and understand the chain, the supply chain of, you know, the apparel industry is no joke, especially now when we're seeing so much stuff go virtual. But I know we're wrapping up on an hour. I did want to give my plug real quick on my first purchases. This is actually one of my favorite hats, by the way. Every time I wear this, the camel, I always get the compliments. Got the W on the back. You know, I also got the dog pound one because I was not playing no games.
You bringing out the jibs, man.
Yes, this one first dropped, and a lot of people don't understand the detail, but this is not a black outline. This is a brown outline. So this is a custom for the dog pound.
That's hard right there,
for
man.
Sure. And you know, I just got my order in. They finally came in with the Flow for Life with the mask. You know,
I didn't even know I gave you a white mask.
Yep.
I thought I gave you a black one.
Oh, I'll take a black one too. You still got my address now. Don't be shy. And I got the blue, the custom blue Flow for Life with the city in the backdrop. You know, for me, it's not just about talking about how we support each other, but how do we actually do it? And I agree, and I can't agree more with what Phil said about actions speak louder than words. We come from a culture of people where we're tired of hearing people talk to us. Show me what you're about. And I believe we do that. One way to do that is how we invest in each other financially, and how we invest in each other socially. And I'm always, you know, connecting with Deontay, and I'm looking forward to building a stronger relationship with you, Phil. But in the sense of supporting each other's brands, it's anybody can come in here and come on, you know, Facebook Live and talk about collaboration. But one way we can continue to collaborate and continue to support each other is by making that financial commitment and that financial investment, and just picking up a shirt, picking up a hoodie, and whatever it takes, and also sharing stuff on social media. That takes no type of financial investment. It's actually free for you to share a flyer, or for you to share an event that one of us have going on, or just share the brand itself. So I'm, you know, so grateful for this opportunity to connect with y'all, and I'm looking forward to how we roll out, you know, collaboration over competition, because I think we got a gold key right here for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So I just wanted to tap in and say I'm super appreciative to Alicia and Deontay both for giving me this platform to express the importance of what West Up is really going to mean. Not only for myself, for something that y'all can understand that I'm trying to build something as a Black man here in America, here in Cleveland, locally to you. You may know me individually or you may not, but This Saturday, I just wanted to plug in just to do a little seamless plug. This Saturday, I'm doing my first ever pop-up shop, right? So a lot of these things that I've done over the last 2 years as a brand have been over the internet or me coming to connect with you individually as far as dropping off merchandise. But this is going to be my first ever pop-up shop. I'm actually doing a collaboration again with A&R Marketing. It's actually going to be at a place called the Cartel Collection. It's actually at 3227 West 32nd Street. That's in Cleveland. I'm going to put that on. It's already on the West Up Instagram page, but it is going to be several different Black businesses here from the city of Cleveland that are coming together. I'm one of the clothing companies. The Cartel Collection's coming out. Big shout out to the For Us Holistic Company with all the sage and the sea moss, doing everything for our, towards our health. But really important this week, I am doing my first ever pop-up. So if you can't come out, at least support the flyer, or at least come out and let me know if you're interested in any merchandise that I've already posted up on the page. Several women have been requesting the cheetah print to come back, so that'll be available to you. Several men have been requesting that the plaid comes back out, so that's coming back at you. And then I'm doing 2 exclusive beanies that have never been released before, and they're only going to be available at the pop-up, so they're not going online at all. If you come to the pop-up, you'll be one of the only individuals to have that beanie. One's green and one's maroon, but I just wanted to kind of do a seamless plug there because first time ever doing kind of an in-store experience with West Up. And I hope to connect with a lot of you guys there on Saturday again at the Cartel Collection. If you need more details, don't hesitate to text me if you know me individually, or you can reach out to the West Up CLE Instagram page, and it'll give you more details there as well. But really super appreciative for the opportunity here with LaRae, and Flow for Life. And I'm looking forward to West Up building with you guys moving forward over 2021 for sure.
Hey, real quick, I just want to give my whole process out real quick when it comes to who I go through. Now, I go to this dude named Chris Hilton. His IG is styled by K Hilton LLC. So y'all can look him up on IG and you can get a logo made from him. I'm just throwing that out there because some people might need logos made and don't know who to reach out to. And when it comes to me getting a logo made, I send this artwork in a PNG file in a vector file, send that to Transfer Express. Now you can get your logo styled how you want to, but it's easy to get it through Transfer Express because you can get 2 big logos and 2 small logos on the sheet. Now, if you sell $60 per sheet, you know what I'm saying, with a big logo and a small logo, 4 all together, you can make damn near $1,500. You know what I'm saying? And that's like a profit. Yeah, it's gonna cost for shirts. I get my shirts from Michaels, so I signed up for the rewards program. So that's just my process. Once I get everything, I just heat press it, put the logo on the shirt, and I put the logo on the mask, and I just ship it out. I do the same day orders, but that's my process. Alicia, you can go ahead with some. I know we pressed for time. I just wanted to do that real quick.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I was getting I just pulled up the flyer, Phil, for the pop-up. So I wanted to make sure I get the dates and stuff. I'm going to throw that in the chat, in the comments here on live. So whoever rewatches the Facebook live piece of this, they can make sure that they got those dates right in front of them in the comments.
Definitely, we're going to wrap it up. Instead of, man, we had a lot more to go, but don't worry about it. We're going to have to do that in part 2 someday, sometime, who knows?
For sure.
Yeah, I appreciate both of y'all for coming on here and y'all accepted the opportunity. And I hope, it helps take y'all to the next level, helps take me to the next level. And I hope to work with y'all in the near future.
Absolutely. Peace, love, and positivity all 2021. West Up to everybody out there. When everyone stacked together, unlimited power. I fuck with y'all 100%, man.
All right. Tap in, y'all.
Appreciate you guys. I'm looking forward to continuing to build and seeing what we can really create via collaboration over competition. So I'm checking out with LaRae. For everyone who's watching it live, make sure you go ahead and hit all the links that we've added on the comment box here on Facebook Live from LaRae. And then if you're rewatching this replay, we want to make sure you stay connected. So make sure you follow the directions that we're putting out. Check out the pop-up and make sure you also follow the pages we have. And I'm appreciative of the opportunity.
Appreciate it.
All right. Flow for Life out.